Hello and welcome to the All About Pigeons podcast. We have a very special episode for you today, so stick around. Hello and welcome to the All About Pigeons podcast. Today we have with us Sami Elijamali. He is the awards chairman and database admin for the International Federation of American Homing Pigeon Fanciers. Or if you're a racing person and you're getting the publications, you recognize their advertisements as the IF. They've been doing a lot of advertising in there, and we're going to find out more about them today. So thanks for coming on and talking with us, Sami.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's get into it and kind of find out a little bit more about the IF. And can you talk about the history and what's the mission of the IF?
Oh yeah, the IF is one of the oldest and biggest organizations, in the United States. It was founded in 1881. The IF's objective is to promote, the breeding of racing pigeon and exhibition, promote racing, throughout the country, and help all the clubs and guide them through the racing process and caring of the birds. The IF really tried to protect, all the aspects of racing pigeons, including issuing bans and regulating the bans. They don't get into like the rules of each club, but they certainly provide guidelines and lay the foundation so everybody has a successful and guidelines to follow and promote the hobby is really the biggest one out there.
Wow, I didn't know that it was from the 1800s. That's incredible. So it's really been around for a while then.
Yeah, 1881 is when it was founded. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. Do you actually kind of help start extra clubs, or if somebody's interested in starting a club, you can kind of give them some guidelines to go off of?
Absolutely. If there's a new club that's coming on board, they certainly can reach out to us. All our information are on the website. We can guide you through anything you need from A to Z, including a race program. We will provide you a race program that you can use. We will help the beginners. If there are any beginners out there that are just starting with the hobby, that they need help, they need birds, they need a training program, they need a mentor, any kinds of assistance that they need, we will gladly provide it, because this is a sport that it's kind of a dying game, because it takes a lot of time, and there's cost into it, and we try to help the younger generation so we can keep this sport. So hopefully another 400 years from today, people will say it was still founded in 1881 and it's still ongoing. So,
yeah.
So that's kind of the objective.
Oh, that's great. We kind of touched on this before, but we'll come back to it in the end. You guys put on conventions, and with the conventions, is that separate? So if you have race clubs that are part of the IF, so you help them organize their stuff, or is it just through conventions?
Oh yeah. So the IF actually hosts a convention every year, and they give it to a club. So every year there are clubs out there that say we want to host a convention for the IF this year, and they can submit the request to the IF. And usually there will be multiple clubs submitting their request, and we will grant it on a first come, first served basis. This year, IF convention, the 2024 IF convention, is going to be in Spring Hill, Florida. Sunny Florida out there. Everybody loves to go down to Florida and attend, a full event. It's going to be a really nice event out there. It's a 4-day event starting on Wednesday, December 4th until December 7th. So every year it's hosted in a different clubs, different parts of the country. The 2025 will be on Long Island, New York, and so on. So we don't know about the 26th is on the planning stage right now. So it's really a great event that the IF, organizes, and with the help of the hosting clubs, that they work together. The IF and the clubs work together to put really a nice itinerary for all the pigeon fanciers so they can attend this event. And during that event, there will be some training. There will be some educational. There will be some exhibition of the birds. There will be auctions in there. So there'll be a dinner. There'll be an award banquet. So and of course, watching a convention race also is the biggest event and the highlight of the convention. And not to mention that this is something that all the pigeon fanciers they look forward to, because we take it as an opportunity for all the old friends from different parts of the state we all get together for something that we all have in common, that we love, is the love of racing pigeons, and attending these events together and meeting the old friends. It just makes it so much fun.
I'm just now looking at the ad here. I see that's the 143rd. So I guess if I put two and two together, that would make sense. Hey, you guys have been doing this for a while. That's excellent. With the way you guys help clubs get set up, do you guys provide outlets for them to like come up on some trailers for, moving the birds around and stuff like that too? Can you point them in that direction? I mean, if somebody's really coming from square zero, can you help them get set up with equipment and everything else too?
Oh, absolutely. We help as much as we can. A lot of times clubs reach out to us and they want to race and they have no idea how to get started. And what we can do is we can ask them where they are, where they're located. We can try to find the nearest club. We can try to connect them with the combine, the nearest buy that they can join. And we can certainly provide all the guidelines and help out and resources that we have to them, and be able to point them in the right direction and help them get started.
Okay. Are you guys affiliated with the ARPU as well?
ARPU is another organization
Okay.
that's basically doing the same thing as the IF, but we have, with two different organizations. Some clubs join the IF, some clubs join the AU. Mostly on the West Coast, the clubs join the AU.
Okay. With your organization, how many different clubs have you guys, are a part of, or how many members are roughly a part of the IF here?
Probably over, I'm not sure on top of my head, over 100 something clubs, and I know membership is over 1,700 members.
Wow, that's strong. That's great.
Yeah, and IF has been growing in the last few years. We really have been growing. A lot of clubs come and try to join the IF, and we try to help as much as possible. And with all the enhancement that we bring it on board in the last few years, it's been really a great. We made some significant changes in investing in a race program is one of them, and we're still working on it. We're still trying to tweak it, and I'm not trying to jump ahead, but it's a few things that we're doing here in the IF that are very appetizing to the clubs and trying to help people enjoy this hobby.
With that, how does the organization like utilize technology, like with the GPS tracking or the data analytics, to enhance racing operations, like make it more streamlined for the clubs and kind of eliminate the lines before a race, where you're sitting there and, the old banding the bird, putting it in the crate and stuff like that? Are you guys kind of providing some streamlined ways of doing that for these clubs?
One of the things that we've done in the last few years, and we're still working on, is we've been working with a consultant from Canada that built actually a race program called Speed Fancier. So it's the Canadian Union, and now it's the IF also is using the program. We adopted this program. We've been using it. Not all the clubs that are part of the IF are using the program, but we made it available to all clubs and members to use for free or charge. So there's no charge to it. And this program is a state-of-the-art program because it allows you to figure out race results and have an email to each member. There's a lot of features that this program have that the old program that we used to use that didn't have. And we're still building on it and trying to enhance it as far as the awards go and archiving database, things of that nature that are still on the horizon. And we've been working with the consultant, and the IF is spending really a significant amount of money trying to invest in this technology to give back to our members.
I look forward to seeing that come down the pipeline. That'll be nice. That's kind of where it needs to be. We need to be moving ahead with the times and stay with it. Not trying to get left behind. I mean, like you said, it's hard with engaging the youth and things like that, and keeping the clubs going. Especially, I feel like one loft races are getting really popular right now, and that works out good in some ways. There's some people that are just kind of out by themselves, not near a race club, but they can still participate in racing by doing these one loft races. But if they can get a few people together, you guys can start a club. Like how would that process work? How was there a minimum amount of fanciers within a certain miles, or what would it take? How many fanciers need to be there?
It really depends. There's no certain rules or anything that the fanciers have to be within X amount of distance with each other's. No. As long as fanciers get together, they want to form a club, they can reach out to the IF. We can certainly give them all the rules and regulations they can start with. They don't have to invent the wheels. We can cut the battle for them in half. So, and we'll help them get started and provide all the resources that they need. There's nothing like watching a bird race there coming into your yard. That's to me, it's just, as a fancier that's been always racing in clubs, and it's something that's priceless.
Yeah, that's all that hard work paying off right there.
Absolutely. It's the art of being a fancier, joining the club, flying in the club, training your own birds. It's nothing like, because you're going to get what you put into it. And that's what makes you a fancier.
What are some of the biggest challenges facing the organization? Growth or exposure for that younger generation, even? Or
Well, definitely you hit the nail on the head right there with exposure to younger generation. We definitely are struggling, as you know. The younger generation, including my son, has no interest in the pigeon. But when he was younger, he will go into my breeding loft and start holding youngsters and playing with them. And I'm like hoping that, this kid is going to get bitten by the pigeon bug. And one day I'm going to find him being my partner. But
yeah.
of course, with the electronics and being a teenager, he has stepped away from that a little bit, but when we were young, it was a different story. We had no electronics. We were basically hands-on with the animals, the interactions, and the things that we learn from caring for the birds and trying to train them and things and breeding them. So it's a whole science that we have to learn, and we build this connect with the animal that we really love. The struggle is still there with the young generation. So the IF has several things that we put out there to try to promote and draw a younger generation. We do have a scholarship award, so if any kid out there that's a family member of a pigeon fancier can certainly apply for a scholarship. It's something that the IF awards. There's usually a first, second, and third. All you have to do is write an article about the pigeons, how the pigeons come into your life, how they impact your life, and things of that nature, and submit it to the IF. The IF will award you a scholarship. There's also a junior membership. It's a discounted membership. It's very minimum for junior members.
Do you guys have like a bracket for, anyone who's a junior that's competing as well?
I believe the junior members are with the age. I don't know on top of my head. I can try to look at the bylaws to see. But I think they have to be as new members or junior members. I consider the young, probably 17 years old or younger.
Okay, and so they actually compete against other juniors then?
No, they compete against the other guys too, the older guys
okay.
too. They just consider the junior members.
Oh, okay. So you guys do the conventions, which you guys have been doing for a while. Is there anything else that the organization is doing for other types of growth or expansion into different areas? Do you guys do any other kind of shows outside of having a club host? Do you guys ever host one big convention just themselves out of the headquarters? Or
no, there's actually no headquarters, that we don't have like a set location, but we do meet at the location where we have our board meetings and discuss things that we can improve on and things that we can do to have more exposures for the IF. The convention is really the largest event that the IF really hosts, or a lot, attends, and all with the support of other clubs that host it, So that's really our main event. And, on top of that, like things that I mentioned, like the scholarship, the award program. And there's also a magazine that the IF issues once a year. It's called the Sky Talk magazine. This is a magazine that comes out in January. It's mailed to every member. It has articles, it has documents, it has contacts. It will have an award, who won the awards for the previous year. It really has a bunch of information, including the following year's convention information on who's hosting it, where to send the birds to. It's really and it's really a beautiful book that Susan puts together, from the IF. And there's a lot of work and time is put into this before that magazine gets published, and it's sent to our members for free. It's part of their membership.
Oh, that's awesome. Can you talk about your membership plans? Like who can be a member and what are the benefits of the member? I see, you get the book that comes out once a year. I'm guessing you guys have bands and stuff like that as well.
Yes. The IF sells bands, and the bands that we order them from Belgium, and we keep a record of them. So these are IF official registered bands. They do help when you buy a band from the IF. You have to be a member first. This will help locate the owner if a bird gets lost. people call the IF, or they go into the book and they can look up the numbers and they can look up the club, and they'll be able to locate the owner of the bird. So that's one of the benefits of being part of the IF and buying the band from the IF, because they'll be registered. If you lose a bird, there's a way of there's a tracking mechanism in there that you can basically find the owner. Other benefits to being part of the IF is you have, beside the Sky Talk magazine that has a tremendous of information that's being mailed to our members once a year. It also has the award winners, and it has documents and articles that are written about pigeons. If there are any new diseases or new vaccines that are coming out, we put on articles and things of that nature in there. So this is where information can reach our members, and the magazine is included in the membership. Also, we do offer scholarship, like I mentioned before. If any of our members have any young generation that are attending college and they want to apply for a scholarship, we certainly please do so. There's a form that you have to fill up and send an article and send it to the IF, and it's very simple and very easy. I encourage people to take advantage of it.
What's the cost of the membership?
$25 a year.
That's a smoking deal.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about this too. So let's talk about the convention that is coming up. So I'm guessing, so it's in Florida. So you guys have a club down there that's going to be hosted by, it's the Unit 10 Racing Pigeon Club. Is that right? That's the guys hosting it?
That's correct.
Okay. This is the interesting part here. So on Saturday, December 7th, you guys are having an auction, 50 birds, 10 birds from each of these lofts. And you got Lamon's Family Loft, Wes Lemons, JoJo International Loft, Big Andy Loft, Frank McLaughlin Loft. He's actually come on the show and talked with us before too. And Romero Herrera, the Aztec Loft. So you got some really good. So they donated some birds to help do the fundraising for the auction then?
These are very famous lofts throughout the country. And these people will have birds in the auction. It's one way for the IF to organize or clubs that are hosting the convention to pick some of the top racing lofts in the country and have some top world-class pigeons in there that are going to be available for the members that are attending the convention, or the ones that want to bid online. They can certainly buy the birds online as well. So.
Okay, so you will have an online opportunity for people who won't be there in person.
Yeah, they usually do. Yes, absolutely. These pigeons will usually be posted online, and also they'll be on site at the Unit 10 Club.
And that'll be on your guys' website?
No, the auctions, the club that's hosting, they usually decide what auction site these are going to be in. When they get close to that date, they will be posting where the auction bird will be on. It will be either on there's a couple of auction websites out there that they will post them on.
Oh, okay. And so I'm guessing, being a guy who's in this right now, you're probably a pigeon racer guy too, aren't you?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the birds you have, some of the bloodlines you're flying in your loft, and how your competition's been?
Yeah, I've been very successful, and I've had pigeons since I was 7 years old. I'm 44 years old now. Been very competitive. Most of my birds, I have imported over 20 pigeons from Belgium. I had a friend that I grew up with. I was born in Morocco. I raised in Morocco. When I was a teenager, I started the first club over there. Me and my brother and a couple of other fanciers, we started the first club. And now the area where we started that first club, there's over 50 clubs in that one city. So the sport over there is growing out of control. Yeah, and then I came to this country. I went to college here. Bought my first hub, built my first loft, and I started racing. I got beat in the first year really badly, and my second year I won the combine average speed, and I stayed on top since then. Have been very successful.
What club do you belong to?
I belong in Southern Long Island Club, and I fly and the Long Island Combine.
Oh, okay. Do you participate in any one loft race?
No, I don't. I just enjoy flying my own birds. I'm just passionate about the work that I put into them, and to see the results in my own yard. So that's just my opinion. I'm fortunate enough to have a little time to do that, and I feel for the people that don't have the time to do that, their only option is to send them to one loft race, which is totally understandable.
It's the same thing with me. I got it. I got a few kids, and my oldest, he still has a couple of pigeons, but it is really hard to compete with online games and the technology today, it's really difficult to compete with that. But I do believe in the pigeon bug, like you're saying. Even if they're in that loft when they're little, it's biting them. So they might get distracted for a little bit, but I do believe that it's something they're going to return to. That's one thing you hear over and over again. Someone who was around pigeons, even if it was just their neighbor or something, and then they get older and then they have that desire to come back. So
I hope you're right. And I hope you're right, because I'll have a future partner here. So
there you go. And if anybody has any info, looking for any more information, the website for the IF is ifpigeon.com. They're also on Facebook. You can find them under the International Federation of American Homing Pigeon Fancier. That's the Facebook forum. If anybody has any questions about the convention up there in Florida, you can contact the chairman, Don Hart, at 203-410-5111. And Sam, I want to thank you for coming on. And this is what it's all about. We're trying to promote the hobby and let people find out about this. I think your organization's just great. Like, it's this is a way to actually grow and create new clubs. I think that's fantastic. So thanks for what you guys are doing there. Thanks for coming on and talking with us today.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity. And if there are anybody out there that needs help and wants to reach out to the IF, please reach out to us. Any of our board members will gladly help you. If they don't have the answer for you, we will get it for you. And if you need help with raising whatever resources that you need, we will provide it to you.
Excellent. That's great. Thank you, Sami.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate you having me.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the All About Pigeons podcast. Please help the pigeon hobby by telling your fellow club members or other pigeon friends about the podcast, and make sure to leave a good review or at least a 5-star for the podcast wherever you listen. If you have a topic or a person you want to hear more about on the podcast, or if you yourself would like to be a guest, just send an email to allaboutpigeonspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.